This is Nickolas Spencer. I am doing the Battle of Waterloo, Napoleon's Last Stand. The forces for this, as you can see, this is the Prussian flag, the Iron Aquila. It's been assigned for Prussia for close to 200 years, and before that was ancient Rome's. And the British, right here. The British were also joined by the Dutch and several other of the German small states, including Hanover, a protectorate of the Prussians. However, I could not list them all onto this campaign brought to you by Empire Total War because of the mere size of the battlefield itself would crash my computer. Well, anyway, here's the French. Beginning of the skirmish was infantry and cavalry based. As you can see, the cavalry to the far is attacking the British, since the British were the first to the skirmish. Right here, there is a cavalry division attacking my line infantry. So as the cavalry units here were mostly armed with spears and swords, sometimes muskets and pistols, flintlocks. The Prussians during this time had the Prussian carbide, which had twice the range and twice the amount of firepower and twice the amount of time as the French muskets. I'll speed this up a little bit for the sake of time, but the Prussian, since I'm doing this on the point of view of the Prussian military, the Prussian artillery I have set up here is howitzers. The first howitzer cannons, shown in this artillery division by this unit right here, is the general. These two are cavalry and infantry division, 4 regiments of howitzers. Over on the French side, we have, right here, we have 2 infantry divisions, 1 cavalry over here fighting line infantry. Those are lifeguard infantry. Lifeguards, they're British heavy cavalry. We have another infantry division, grenadiers, heavy infantry. Line infantry are attacking to the center again. As you can see in this battle right here, this is the box formation, square formation. This was a favorite during this time period of fights in all angles. Basic strategy back in this time period was fire by line. As you can see, the Prussian line infantry are firing by line onto the line infantry of the French Napoleonic forces. Cavalry always attacks from the center or the side, and the artillery has just done friendly fire. Friendly fire was common back in this time period because cannons are inaccurate. The line infantry attack, and the French retreat. And then they start up another attack over on the British side. And as the British push deeper into them and their counterattack. Two cavalry divisions are attacking this 1 infantry division. They are the British Grenadiers. Over here on this side we have the French 18 LBER standard cannon division for this time period. Under the French, they didn't have the luxury of having too many howitzers or mortars artillery for this time period, due after Napoleon's defeat in Russia. Line infantry are attacking. I'll zoom in a little bit so we get the bigger picture of basic combats during this time period. The graphics aren't the best on this game, but it is what it is. It serves the gist. As you can see, the basic sword was either the cutlass or what was the other sword? The other sword name escapes me, but the the bayonets that are on these muskets, the British carbide, is the ring bayonets. It wraps around the end of the musket head. It's different from the earlier bayonets that the French had to resort back to, the plug bayonets, where they actually had to stab the bayonets into the musket shaft itself, preventing them from using it for the rest of the battle. That is that battle section. Now back over to the Prussian side. There's grenadiers, Prussian grenadiers. They came in the actual battle and helped lead to the end of Napoleon itself in this campaign. Now fast forward for the sake of time. These are the standard tactics for line infantry. As we see again on the French side, their basic uniforms are white with blue lining. During this time period, the grenadiers had the use of their different uniforms. I'll zoom in so that we get a gist of what they look like. And then those are the grenades. Prussian uniforms for grenadiers. The ring bayonets as shown before. They throw another volley of grenades. And back over to this side, we can actually see the heavy fighting, close combat fighting that involved during the end of the battle between what should be the Imperial Guard forces of the Napoleon. Now fast forward to the sake of time. Howitzer artillery engages here in a second, or a few minutes. The infantry, and these are stakes right here, anti-cavalry to the distance. I'll zoom in so we can see them better. Here's your artillery fire now. Now they're targeting two different regions. Stakes, this defensive tool was used for well over 1,000 years. The Romans used them, the Greeks used them. It's anti-cavalry. Cavalry would charge directly into it. These would stab into the horses, bring down the cavalry. Line infantry again. I'll fast forward to the sake of time. There'll be artillery shells here in a second. Back to the British side. British are engaging. These light infantry forces are attacking here. Light infantry was skirmishers and scouts mostly. Back over to the Prussian side. The artillery struck them, wiped out half of their column. At the end of the day, the 7th Coalition forces, so the British and the Prussians, along with the other German states that allied with the Anglo Allies, is what they were also known as. There was over 24,000 casualties, MIA or KIA. They don't know the certain numbers because there's no real force of measuring the dead other than counting the bodies, which wasn't really effective when there was artillery blasts. 50,000. The British, along with the Dutch and the other German state allies, was 68,000 men. After this battle ended, Napoleon surrendered to the British forces, as well as the Prussians, which shortly after led directly to the end of his reign and friends. And that is the end of this battle as of yet. Thank you for listening.